Hello again. This is a tutorial on other versions of the II7 and the IV7. At the top here I've included the versions, the most common versions, 265 and the 47 that we learned in the previous tutorial. So a lot of the same voice leading is going to apply, particularly with the resolution of the sevenths, but other aspects are going to differ. So let's get moving here. So for this, the 2-7 here, we're going from a 1 enclosed position. The seventh, as always, you should be focused on first. So in that case, there in the tenor do, as in do, do, ti is still the seventh, so the voice is going to be there. Now, the upper voices, the tendency here of students is to write a complete chord for the 2/7. What you see often is something like this. In the major, when they go sol to la, they create parallel fifths. In this case, it's not parallel fifths; it's a diminished fifth for the two, but it's still better to move in contrary motion. To the third of the chord, and move the alto to the fifth, to the doubled root. So you have the root and the third. Now, these are actually common tones. So the alto voice now becomes the fifth of the 5 chord, and the soprano, the fa, becomes the 7th of the dominant. So you have these two common tones held over. The 7th resolves down, as all 7ths do. Alto voice can just simply move and triple the root. If you want a complete chord, you can simply move the tenor down. Let's listen to this. Okay, now let's move to look at these next two in conjunction. We have a 4/6/5 and a 2/4/3. They both have a 6th scale degree in the bass. If you want that 6th scale degree to go to the sol, la to sol, or in this case la to sol, then the progression you have to write is the version you have to write is 2/4/3. If you try to write a 4/6/5, well, let's just imagine the 4/6/5 has la in the bass, and let's say we intended to go to la to sol. We would also have a may in that chord because that's part of the 4/6/5. The may would go to re, and you would write parallel fifths. So to avoid that, you can't avoid it if you're writing a 4/6/5. So if you want la to go to sol, you must use a 2/4/3, in which case you don't have may, you just have re. So let's do that chord. So once again, do, do, ti, so if this were the 4/6/5, we would have may there, and may would go to re, and then you would have parallel fifths. So to avoid that, you just simply go to re, and that's what the 2/4/3 is. May, re, re, do. Or, and the soprano again, just as you saw above. Moves down to fa. It holds fa as the 7th, and goes to may. You'll notice, whereas we couldn't go from a 2/6/5 to a 5/7, or a 4/7 directly to a 5/7 because there's no doubled fa in the 2/6/5 or the 4/7. In all of these other versions, the 2/7, the 2/4/3, the 4/6/5, the 2/4/2, all of them have something other than fa in the bass. You have fa in the soprano, so you can always, or you have fa in some other upper voice. You can always hold it over for the 7th. Let's look at the 4/6/5 here. So the 4/6/5 never goes to a root position 5. The 6th scale degree must go back up to the 7th scale degree. That means in the minor you've got to make an adjustment because you're moving to ti for 5/6/5, so you have to use la for the 4/6/5. So that do, la, ti, do is always a 4/6/5 progression. Now let's go back up and remind ourselves about the voice leading of the 4/7 chord. It's mi, or in this case may. So there it is in the alto voice. May, re. We can go. Now what do the other voices do? So we move by step, so we have to have a fa. So there it is in the soprano. And one doesn't have to, but very commonly you hold the seventh over. And that creates the 5-6-5, so it's fa, and of course fa always resolves down, part of the dominant seventh. So, and then the do is a common tone. Now, instead of going do, do, ti, which it usually does when you go 4 to a 5, because the ti is in the bass, this voice must leap. So you have do, and it must go, there's only one place for it to go, and that's down to sol. That's the root of the 5-6-5 chord. It's one of the great progressions, it's great sounding progressions. Let's listen. Okay, and I'm not going to go over the 2-4-2. It's pretty simple. The seventh is in the bass. This is a progression I find probably the easiest one of these to write. And do. Oops. Do. Do. So do, do, ti, go do, re, re, do, or me. La, sol, sol, and the alto. Fa. Either fa, sol, me, or fa, fa if you want a 5-6-5. Okay.